Welcome back again. So this is where we left off. We've got these quiz questions, and you were learning about how we use ifs and else's, okay, what we call conditional statements. And we will sort of do a little bit more on this again, going on to what's called an elif, which is when you want to test another if. But anyway, we're going to carry on with our quiz and just get this finished off. And we're going to introduce an idea called an accumulator. So the accumulator is basically whenever they get a question correct, it's going to add that on to a score, and every time they get one correct, it will keep adding one onto it. So if I get 3 questions correct, it will say that it'll add up to 3. Right, once again, what am I talking about? Let's just dive in and work it out. Okay, so I have a variable here. This is the answer to my football question, my answer to my Paris question. So I'm going to put under here, I'm going to create a new variable, and this is going to keep a tally of my score. All right, so I'm going to put in here, just call it, I'm going to call it number correct. I can call my variable anything I want. And to start off with, I haven't got any questions correct, so it starts at 0. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, if I got this question, if I got Alan Shearer as my question, and it's saying print correct here, I want my number correct, this variable. It was 0, okay, but I want it to increase by 1. All right, so I'm going to put in here number correct, and then I'm going to say, well, this variable is now equal to what it was before. Okay, now this is a bit of a weird concept. I will understand this. Number correct, and then we're going to do plus 1. So this is the foundations of an accumulator. All right, you take the variable number correct, and you're going to give it an update. Basically, that's what it started as, but we're going to update it with a new value, and it's good that the new value of number correct will be whatever it was before. Okay, so this here will actually be 0, but then we're going to add 1 to it. So the new value of number correct will be 1. Okay. Now you might be thinking, well, why don't we just say number correct is equal to 1? Well, you'll see in a minute, because what we're going to do is we want to then do the same thing for our France question or our Paris question here. And once again, we're going to say, well, number correct is equal to number correct plus 1. We use the same line of code, but this is what's going to happen, okay? So this time, number correct is equal to 0 plus 1. So number correct, new value of it will now be 1. Now we come down here. Remember, it's going to do this in order, this code. We come down here. Now, number correct is it's going to update this again, this variable. Number correct here, well, it's not 0 anymore. We updated it in this question here if we got it correct. So it will be 1. So the number correct will be 1 plus 1. I think you can probably do the maths there. So the new updated value of number correct will now be 2. All right. So what we want underneath this, we've got to test this out. Okay, so I don't want it indented. I want to start at this line here. Okay, and I'm going to now print the number of start off. You got space, and then I'm going to do a plus, and then I'm going to put number correct. If I spell it correctly, plus. So it's going to say, I want it to say you got however many questions correct. So I'm going to get it to say at the end, you got. Number correct will be whatever the value is of number correct, and then it's going to say questions correct. So if I got 1 question correct, it will say you got 1 questions correct. If I got 2 questions, it will say you got 2 questions correct. All right. Now there is an error. See if you can spot it. Let me just run it, and you'll see. And this refers to something that we did a few lessons back about casting. See if you can think about it. Okay, who's the greatest footballer of all time? Let's go Alan Shearer again. All right, boom, correct. I'm so good at this. What is the capital of France? Once again, I'm going to put in Paris. Boom. Now, you see this error here. So hopefully you would have worked it out. My line is 23. This is here. So you can see here, line 23 is the problem. Let's go to line 23. You got number correct question. Type error. Can only concatenate, I can't say that word very well, concatenate str not int. So if you remember, this number correct here is an integer. Yeah, we gave it a 0 here. Python automatically knows that this is an integer, all right? But we cannot mix strings and integers when we want to print stuff out. So what we have to do, let's see if you can remember this. Here, I'm going to type in str, and I put this brackets like that. So basically, I'm going to cast this integer, okay, whatever it is, into a string, str, like this. And that means that I can concatenate, that means add that string, okay, to this string here. So let's run it now, let's just check. And what we'll do is we'll try and get something wrong. So I'm going to put Mr. Greener, actually, let's put my wife in, she's an amazing footballer. Mrs. Greener, what? I can't believe that. What is the capital of Paris? France even, Paris. Okay, look, correct. You got 1 question's correct. Obviously, grammatically, that is terrible. Okay, you can't have 1 questions. But now it works, okay? And that's because I casted this here to a string, all right? So I'd like you to obviously see if you can try that out, okay? And add this concept and try and get it to accumulate your score and then print it at the end of your quiz, okay?